I spent about 6 years in the Army, 5 years active, 1 year National Guard. And why did I join the Army? Was it because I was super patriotic and wanted to see some combat? Fuck no. The only reason I enlisted into military service was because I was a broke, unemployed NEET who was living off of others, borderline homeless, and had no source of income. It's not like I got a monthly disability check. I couldn't even apply for that. And you might be thinking, why did you just keep looking for jobs, bro? Like, I tried applying for multiple jobs and I still got ghosted. And this was back before AI took over. But I still got ghosted despite the fact that I was willing to work, had no criminal history, and what else I was going to say? Oh yeah, and had no drug addiction, and I still got ghosted. You know, with an army recruiter, there is no online application and going through a review process. Like, no, you go to the army recruiter and be like, hey, I want to join. I don't have any bad history, so can I get in? The army recruiter will be like, oh yeah, sure. We just gotta, set you up with some tests and get a what's it called? A medical checkup, and bam, just sign some paperwork and you're in. You go off to basic training. You could be a week, could be 30 days. For me, I had a month before going to basic training. I got lucky. Some people only had like a week before going. Anyway, I was an army cook, and that's another thing I don't like about people. Some people online, I haven't seen anyone say this in real life, but some people online, you're like, oh, if you enlist in the military service, you're going to die for America, the corrupt government of Israel. You're going to die for a country that doesn't love you. And I'm like, well, first of all, this country, America, doesn't seem to love its own civilians outside of military service. At least when I got out of military, I was heavily financially compensated for medical issues that I attained. But fighting for Israel or fighting for America, no, not at all. See, a lot of people have this perception that the army is like Call of Duty or something. Like there's constant combat. And look, there are combat jobs in the army, but most of the jobs in the army are support shit. Like cooks, I was a cook, mechanics, engineers, dentists, doctors, military police who, just give people speeding tickets. They get a lot of hate. There's like a bunch of other support jobs I'm forgetting to mention. All those people that make parachutes. Like, even the people who I met in the army that were in the Middle East never saw combat, to be honest. So, yeah. And yeah, there is a chance that you could die in the army, but it's like super rare. The only death I ever saw, well, I didn't see it happen, but I attended the funeral, was for someone who unfortunately committed suicide. And I talked to that guy once, and he offered me a ride. I don't know why he did what he did, but that sucked. But yeah, I mean, dying in the army, at least nowadays, it could happen, but it's about the same odds as like dying in a school shooting while you're being a teacher, or dying in a gas station robbery, or dying in a Walmart because a bunch of shit fell on top of you when you're trying to, what was it called? That job at Walmart where, stalking, that kind of stuff. You can pretty much die at just about any job from any horrific incident because life is just that unpredictable. And in fact, looking at history, like the majority of deaths when it came to USA involved wars were from mostly the civilians. I mean, yeah, we lost some military personnel, but the ones who really suffered are the civilians. Most soldiers in the army don't really care about their country. Like, they're not super patriotic. I mean, the majority of people in their service are literally just in for the benefits. Like, that's about it. It's just pay and benefits because when you enlist in the military, unfortunately, the USA does not have free healthcare or free education like other well-developed countries. I don't know why, because the government already has billions of dollars anyway. But whatever. So yeah, that's a reason why a lot of people join to get those benefits, that free healthcare and free dental and free college. Like, you can literally get paid to go to college. Now, if you fail your college class, you actually got to pay a fee for that, about $700, I think. But there's a good chance that if you applied to do a college course, you would take it seriously so you wouldn't fail. Anyway, um, Yeah, let's talk about the other branches. The army, they'll pretty much take in anybody, uh, unless you got like a serious medical issue. Other than that, though, they can use like a waiver to try to get that pass. The Marines, if you're going to join the Marines, that's like the most combat heavy branch of the military. You better be in some darn good physical shape, and you better know how to swim because otherwise training is going to be hard or worse. Then there's the Navy, which you also got to learn to swim. I actually wanted to go into the Navy, but I can't swim. And I have a friend who works at a shipyard. He interacts with Navy soldiers all the time, and are they called seamen? I don't know what you call Navy people, but he interacts with the Navy people all the time. And he says that they're always miserable because they're just stuck around the shipyard and they can't leave. And they say that in the Navy you get to travel around a lot, but the truth is you're mostly, like empty ocean, just doing nothing. And then there's the Air Force, which has a higher standard for some reason. That's why people joke about the Air Force serving their airmen lobsters or something like that. And they also have the lowest physical fitness requirements. And then there's the Coast Guard, which I don't really know anything about the Coast Guard outside of the fact that they rescue people who are like stuck out in sea or something. Then, and if that's the case, then good on them. But yeah, so I went into the army, and here's the thing: if you're thinking about going into the army, you technically have to do 8 years of service. However, you can pick a short contract and do like 3 years, and then you'll just be put on hold for the rest of the 5 years because like it's called IRR. It's like inactive reserve or something like that. And while you're on IRR, like let's say shit happens in the USA and they need people to come back in, that's the purpose of it. But the thing is, the odds of you going back into service after you get out are super, super low, at least as of right now, because even though we got that whole thing going on with Iran, uh, it's still not that super serious enough. You know what I'm trying to say? Anyway, during my time in the army as a cook, I mostly just made food for soldiers. Then something medically bad happened to me, so I had to leave the dining facility and work in another area until my contract ended. I didn't get in any trouble. I got out with an honorable discharge. But yeah, I mean, most like what did I do in the army? Okay, I made food for soldiers, and when I went into the National Guard, my favorite part was making hamburgers and hot dogs for the soldiers. Uh, Oh yeah, I did a lot of cleaning because here's the thing about the army: when there's nothing going on, you still got to work from 9 to 5, or 0900 to 1700, and yeah, when there's just some days in the army where there's nothing to do, so all you just do is like try to look busy by cleaning, or you can use your phone, but higher ups don't want you using your phone, but like if there's not shit to do, then there's not shit to do. Then there are those mandatory fun days where there's like a sport event or something, where we play football. I wasn't the best at sports, but I appreciated the social events. And oh yeah, I had one job where I was getting rid of boxes, and another job I had. Oh, the worst job I had was where I had to stay on guard for a checkpoint because they were shooting past the checkpoint, and uh, I had to decide if a vehicle could go through or not. So I had the radio with me, and this job was super boring because it was just me being out in the middle of nowhere for 48 hours. Just letting vehicles pass by. And what made the job even worse is that the vehicle I was sleeping in, it was like this Humvee. It wasn't comfortable at all to sleep in. There wasn't much space. I mean, the partner I was with when we had that job, he was cool, but yeah, super boring. Even when I had my books and electronics, it just felt so miserable. And yeah, being an army cook, we work ridiculous hours. I mean, I don't know how it is now. I think the worst, I think the longest I've ever worked was from like 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. or 2000. Yeah, that was a bad day. And being an army cook, at first I sucked at it, but that's like with every job. You get better at it the more you do it, and Yeah, over time I got better at being an army cook. Got some awards and whatnot. Nothing to really brag about because at the end of the day, I was only in the military for the money. And like, how much did I come out when I got out? Well, I came in with about $0 in my bank account, and I left with about almost $50,000. It could have been more, but I didn't start saving until I only had like 3 more years left. So by that time, I wish I could just go back in time and tell myself, hey, don't spend that money, just save it. But I'm doing fine now. And yeah, there's also the PT events, the physical fitness test. I passed most of them, but I did get out of shape over time, especially now. Like, oh my goodness, I need to lose weight. And, there's also M4 target practice training. Yeah, that was really boring. And yeah, yeah, that's all I can really say. The army is like a regular job, to be honest. I didn't see no wars. I didn't do nothing crazy. And yeah, yes. I mean, there's some stressful moments, but nothing I can really. Uh, well, there's nothing that important.